Next, we're going to bring up another candidate for Secretary of State, and he's been here patiently all day. It is Kelvin King for Secretary of State.
Sweet, absolutely. Here you go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, thank you, Alex, and thank you, GRA. GRA, you're close to my heart. You all supported me when I ran for U.S. Senate a few years ago. Didn't quite work out, but y'all are fighters, and that's what I am too. You know I'm a fighter. My family is a fighter. My wife is a fighter also, and Janelle King. She's doing a great job. But what I want to do right now is I want to explain, discuss, and share why I'm here and what I'm going to do as your next Secretary of State. First of all, let me set the stage. We all know that there's problems in the Secretary of State's office, but a lot of us don't know what the roles are. So let me just lay out the issues. Right now, we don't have trusted elections, obviously. The Secretary of State's office is responsible for our elections. They're responsible for our election system, our elections, and our voter rolls. We got to clean up all of those and correct all of those. I'm the only candidate with the background to do that, and I'll explain it in just a second. We've got to make sure that the business licensing and business formations role of the Secretary of State's office actually helps and supports our small businesses and our businesses. I'm a small business owner. I'm going to explain to you in just a second why that's so important and why I'm the only candidate that's uniquely skilled to address that. And lastly, the securities. When you put your hard-earned money with a firm, you expect that money to be there when you need to take it out, when you invest your money. The Secretary of State's office has dropped the ball. Do y'all know about the building and loans scandal from last year with First Liberty? Regardless of what you think about First Liberty, the Secretary of State's office had not reviewed that company's licenses in over 10 years. I can't do that as a licensed general contractor. That's dereliction of duty, and that's falling asleep at the wheel. On the business side, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that when a small business or a business calls the Secretary of State's office and needs help, that a human answers the phone. That when their license they have a question about their license, that it gets answered in a timely fashion so they can go back to work, because they can't work without a license. I've gotten way too many complaints as a candidate on how to fix that office and how to fix the business licensing portion. I'm going to implement industry liaisons. An industry liaison is going to be a human being who can guide the businesses to where they need to go. Because business is hard, and the government shouldn't make it that much harder. Now, what are we going to do about elections? Elections. Under King administration, what we're going to do first, we're going to change the culture of the office. We're going to put Air Force core values into the Secretary of State's office of integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. That's going to be the mantra across the board. And if any employee doesn't understand that, then they won't be employed there anymore. We're going to do something different. Once we lay out the groundwork, then we can build on it. Once everyone knows the expectations, then we can integrate hand-marked paper ballots for our elections, because that's the only way to secure our elections, because you gotta have the original source document from the moment you vote to the moment it's tallied. Right now, we walk into the voting booth and we hand the poll pad lady or guy our ID, we get a card, we take the card to a BMD, a ballot marking device, we put it inside that BMD, we get the ballot on our screen, we select Kelvin King for Secretary of State, and you hit print ballot, right? The ballot comes out. And on that ballot, it should be the moment when you determine or you verify your vote. In text, it normally has your text on there. But when you slide that thing into the scanner, and that poll worker says, once the number clicks, that means that your vote is counted. What is that scanner reading? It's reading the QR code. And you can't read a QR code. I don't think y'all can read a QR code. So right now, we're not following the law in Georgia when we go to vote. So what we're going to do in the King administration is we're going to adjust that. That's why we're going to do hand-marked paper ballots. That's why we're going to get rid of the Dominion system. That's why me, as a former Air Force officer, former contracting officer, I'm an owner of a small business that I grew from scratch all by myself, and now we have offices in 3 states. That's why you have the confidence in me to get this job done. Some people say that you can't do it. They don't need to be elected then. Go away. Because what we're about is getting things done. That's why I have a high degree of respect for the GRA. I ask for your endorsement. I ask for your support. I ask mostly tell other people about this race, because an educated voter is our best supporter. So thank you for your time. Go to kelvinking.com.
Thank you so much. Great job.